Hello, this is Mr. Eichenlaw. We're going to go through a brief lesson on some of the causes of World War II related to the chapter 26 in your 8th grade social studies book. So if you don't have your book, that's okay. Just go ahead and follow along as we go through the presentation here. We're going to have a couple questions for you to answer down in the comments below. If you kind of forget what the questions are, that's okay. They are posted on the last slide of this presentation. And the link to the presentation will also be available in the description of the video as well as in the comments. So let's go ahead and get started. And talk about some of the causes of the start of World War II. So during this time, there was the rise of dictators around the world. So dictators are ruthless leaders who rose to power in the 1920s and the 1930s. They were taking advantage of people's anger and suffering about lack of money, food, resources during this time period. And Germans in particular were upset with the Treaty of Versailles. They had to pay reparations to other countries. We also had the Great Depression going on, which was causing frustration and fear. These ruthless leaders promised a better life for the citizens in their country. And so the dictators are leaders who controlled their nation by force, which would be the opposite of a democracy. They just took control and did not really allow opposition to them politically in terms of their government. So Italy was one of those that had a dictator, Benito Mussolini. He won power by appealing to Italians who won little in the Treaty of Versailles. Mussolini made fascism popular. There'd be extreme nationalism, lack of tolerance for other people. He banned all political parties except for the fascist party, and his country gained control of Ethiopia in 1935. This is a quote: "Democracy is beautiful in theory. In practice, it is a fallacy," which means a lie. And then we've all heard of Hitler. So Germany would be another country where a dictator had rose to power. And the Great Depression had hit Germany hard. They had also had to pay other countries back for damages during World War I. Hitler won support by appealing to German fears about the economy and their anger with the Treaty of Versailles, having to pay reparations. Hitler was the leader of the National Socialist Party, which was the Nazis. Hitler and the Nazis believed that Germans were superior to other groups of people. So this will be your first comment you're going to put down below. You're going to do a little bit of research about the Nazi Party and post a comment about what you find below. Hitler was blaming the Jews for the problems that Germans were facing. And the term for this, for hatred of the Jews, is anti-Semitism. Hitler gained power in 1933, ended democracy, and set up totalitarian rule. Totalitarian rule means leaders crush all opposition and try to totally control all areas of society. So there's some countries today that still have this: North Korea, China to some extent. Hitler claimed that Germany had a right to expand. He rebuilt Germany's military, defying the Treaty of Versailles, and formed an alliance with Italy in 1936. So this will be our second comment, where you're going to go back through, down below in the comments, and just put a comment about something in terms of plans that Mussolini and Hitler shared. Keep the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. There's a quote, another quote there. And then Japan, the rise of another dictator in Japan. They had suffered from the Great Depression as well. Their military leaders thought they needed more land and resources. And in 1931, they invaded Manchuria, which was in China. In 1937, they invaded China. 1940, Japan joined Germany and Italy in the Axis powers. Soviet Union was another country that had a dictator rise to power. Joseph Stalin rose to power as the communist leader in the 1920s, used force to gain obedience from his people, executed rivals, and sent millions to labor camps if they were suspected of being disloyal. And during this time, America wanted to remain neutral. A lot of Americans, they wanted to avoid foreign trouble, stay out of war, wanted to let Europe kind of manage their own business. Between 1935 and 1937, Congress passed the Neutrality Act. This banned the weapons sales and loans to nations that were at war. Okay, and then next we have Germany on the march. Hitler is expanding his control into other countries. He invaded the Rhineland, Austria, and the Sudetenland. Sudetenland was located in Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia wanted to fight to keep Sudetenland, and Britain and France did not want trouble. They wanted a peaceful solution with Germany. And so there was a conference called the Munich Conference in 1938. Leaders from Britain, France, Czechoslovakia, and Germany met to discuss Sudetenland. France and Britain agreed to give Sudetenland to Germany. This was called appeasement, accepting demands in order to avoid conflict. So they were just kind of surrendering or giving up to Germany so that they wouldn't have to fight in a war. Czechoslovakia was forced to give Sudetenland to Germany. Hitler, however, then took the rest of Western Czechoslovakia. You may have heard of Neville Chamberlain, was often associated with appeasing or just surrendering, giving up to another side. And then Hitler continues. He prepares to invade Poland. Poland bordered with Soviet Union, and so Soviets and Germany signed a Nonaggression Pact, which in August of 1939, they made a pact so that Hitler was able to attack Poland without fear of the Soviets intervening. And then our third comment in the comment section is going to be, why was Germany able to invade Poland? Okay, just a reminder of our 3 questions. If you could please answer those down in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Thank you guys. Hope everyone's doing okay over their break. And if you have a question at all, you can email us or leave it down in the comments below.